All right, let's get right into it. If you're a tech leader today, you are smack in the middle of a market that's just completely exploding with AI coding tools. And making a choice here isn't just about picking some new features anymore. No, it's a huge strategic decision. It's going to impact your budget, your security, and really the whole future of your team. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise and give you a really clear framework for making that choice.
And that's not just a catchy phrase. It's the perfect description. We are living through this period of brilliant, chaotic innovation, with new AI coding agents popping up what feels like every single day. It's a massive opportunity for sure, but it's also incredibly confusing. And making the wrong bet here, that can be a very, very expensive mistake. So, what does all this chaos actually look like for you on the ground? Well, it looks a lot like shadow IT. That's when your developers, one by one, start experimenting with all these different tools on their own. And before you know it, you've got overlapping subscription costs you didn't even know about, you've got major security blind spots, and honestly, you've got a lot of skepticism from your senior devs who aren't totally sold that these tools are worth all the disruption. Okay, so this brings us to what is really the single most important decision you have to make. Before you even look at a single tool, you've got to choose a philosophy. And it really all boils down to that classic trade-off. Do you want predictable costs, or do you want unconstrained power? This choice really puts you at a fork in the road. On one side, you have the all-inclusive resort. It's simple, it's predictable, it's super easy to budget for. And on the other side, you've got the custom-built race car, a pay-as-you-go model that gives you raw, untamed power, but, it requires a lot more skill to handle. So let's take a closer look at the resort first. The subscription model, it's incredibly appealing, especially to your finance department. You pay a flat fee, maybe $20 per developer per month, for tools like GitHub Copilot or Cursor. The costs are fixed, they're predictable. On paper, it looks like a total no-brainer. But, and this is the crucial part, there's a hidden trade-off. See, while you're paying a nice fixed price, the provider's costs are variable. Every single time your developer makes a query, it costs that provider money. And this creates a fundamental misalignment of incentives. They are financially motivated to get you to use less of their service, not more, so they can protect their profit margins. So how does that actually affect your team? Well, it creates what we call a performance ceiling. First, you get this aggressive context compression. That's when the AI starts to forget key details right in the middle of a task because the provider is trimming the history to save a few pennies. You also get a total lack of transparency. They might be routing your request to cheaper, older AI models, and you'd never know. And all of this leads to your developers having to babysit the AI, feeding it one tiny little step at a time instead of letting it truly run on its own. Now let's talk about that other path, the bring your own key or BYOK model. This is the race car. Here, the tool itself is often free, but you pay an AI provider like OpenAI or Anthropic directly for exactly what you use. Now the incentives are perfectly aligned. The toolmaker wants to build the most powerful thing they can, giving you instant access to the latest and greatest models, and the security, it's a total game changer. Your code goes straight from your developer's machine to the AI provider. It never, ever touches the toolmaker servers. Of course, there is no free lunch. The race car needs a skilled driver, right? The main challenge with the BYOK model is unpredictable billing. A single developer, if they're not careful, could rack up some serious costs without proper oversight. So this model, it absolutely requires a real commitment to active financial governance. Okay, let's just put it all side by side. With a subscription, you get that high budget predictability, but you're taking on a big risk of a performance ceiling and getting locked in with one vendor. With pay-as-you-go, predictability is lower, but guess what? So is your performance risk. You get instant access to new models and a zero-trust security posture, which for a lot of you is absolutely essential for compliance. All right, so with that core choice in mind, cost versus power, let's see how this actually plays out with some of the top contenders on the market right now. And remember, the goal here isn't to find the one best tool, it's about finding the right tool for the right job. First up, we've got Cursor. Think of this as the power user's daily driver. It's basically a version of VS Code, so it feels really familiar, but it is just supercharged with deeply integrated AI. Its magic is all about speed. Super fast inline actions, complex edits across multiple files, and this game-changing tab-to-complete feature. This is the tool for the developer who is deep in the trenches, writing and refining code all day long. And look, that's not just some marketing fluff. Users are consistently reporting huge productivity gains. When your senior developers feel like they're moving twice as fast, that's a serious return on investment that you just can't ignore. Next is Windsurf, and it plays a totally different role. This is the autonomous feature builder. Its Cascade feature is really cool. It's designed to take a high-level goal, break it down into a step-by-step plan, and then actually execute that plan across a bunch of files. It's less like pair programming and more like delegating a whole task. It absolutely shines when you're starting a new project from scratch or just trying to build an MVP really quickly.
And next, let's look at a tool with a completely different focus, Klein. This one is the Enterprise Security Champion. It's a free open-source extension for VS Code that runs only on the BYOK model. Its zero-trust architecture means your proprietary code is never sent to their servers. That makes it pretty much the only real choice if you're in finance, healthcare, or any other super security-sensitive environment. Plus, its plan and act workflow forces a strategic review before the code gets written, which leads to much higher quality output on complex tasks. So you have all these specialized tools. And what we're seeing now is that the most sophisticated organizations are moving beyond just picking one. They're actually building a multi-agent stack where they orchestrate different tools for the specific tasks they're best at. And this is where things get really, really powerful. This new approach, it actually reframes the entire role of a senior developer. Their highest value is no longer just about writing lines of code. It's about becoming an orchestrator of AI agents. Their job becomes strategic planning, precise delegation of tasks, and rigorous quality control. It's a massive force multiplier for their skills.
So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, a developer might start their day in Klein to create a secure, high-level architectural plan. Then they'll delegate all the boring boilerplate file creation to Windsurf's Cascade agent. After that, they'll jump into Cursor to use its incredible speed for writing the core business logic. And finally, they'll use the world-class debugger that's already in VS Code for all the final testing and deployment. Each tool is used for its unique strength.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. Let's build an actionable framework so you can figure out how to actually make this choice for your team right now. First things first, if you're leaning towards the raw power of BYOK, you have got to tame the cost beast. And this isn't about just hoping for the best. It means creating clear governance policies, like you use cheaper models for simple tasks and expensive ones for complex stuff. It means active monitoring, setting hard spending limits and alerts. And it means some technical optimization, like caching common queries so you're only paying for them once. So to put it as simply as I can, you should choose the subscription model if your absolute number one priority is a predictable, fixed budget and an easy, out-of-the-box experience. But you should choose the pay-as-you-go model if security is completely non-negotiable, if you need unrestricted access to the absolute best AI, and if you want to avoid being locked into a single vendor's ecosystem. Ultimately, this whole decision reflects a much deeper question about the future of your team. The choice you make isn't just about a tool, it's about the kind of engineering culture you really want to build. So you have to ask yourself, are you just trying to make your coders a little bit faster? Or are you trying to build a new kind of team, a team of elite AI orchestrators?